So we're never going to have commercials on this show. And we are never going to make any money off of this show.
What?
No.
Oh.
Because that's not the point.
Oh.
This isn't our content, and we are just here to spread the joy and love of Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
But if we can work with this little family that we've created to help other people, then I think that's great. So I've set up a fundraiser for Freedom Writers Foundation. We're going to do this for Tony Danza's birthday. His birthday is on April 21st.
Okay.
The organization is a nonprofit organization that works to provide educators with the tools they need to empower all students to succeed. They work to reduce student dropout rates and to get more kids on a path to college. So if you would like to participate, go to our Instagram, which is the Who's the Boss podcast on Instagram. On the main page under the bio, you'll see fundraising for Freedom Writers. You can click on that and donate there.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. Tony Danza is going to be 70 years old.
Wow,
Yes.
70.
Happy
Big 70.
birthday.
Good for
Yeah.
Tony Danza.
I'm sorry that I invested your money without asking, but I am not sorry that I bought this hotel. This represents a whole new chapter in my life.
Does it have to be chapter 11?
All you see are torn carpets, dingy drapes, and the broken elevator.
Don't forget the sprinklers in 310 that go off when you flush in 412.
Well, you can't rush these things.
You can if you're in 412.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to
Ayo. Oh, wait.
the Who's the Boss podcast. I'm Tori,
And I'm Kevin.
and we are here to rewatch and discuss every single episode of Who's the Boss.
We got a voicemail.
Hey, this is Jamie again. I post on Instagram as jwhitesel82. I never know if I have any insights or just projections of my own crap, but I think I can explain why Angela was blowing hot and cold in the proposal. Plain and simple, I believe she wanted to be wanted. That's it. Good or bad, her relationship with Jeffrey boiled down to that. It had precious little to do with him. In Tony the Matchmaker, she was really upset about the breakup. But primarily it was because what she called, it was like another failed relationship. It wasn't the loss of him. In that light, the proposal makes perfect sense to me. She was stress eating about the possibility of getting asked. She was anxious primping by the firelight. She gave him this pissy silent treatment when he revealed his true question about the timeshare. And she was resentful because, he hurt her because she wanted to be fully wanted, and he just asked for this mid-level commitment. And she was really, truly confused when she got what she thought she wanted, which was, Jeffrey's proposal. And it's like, she didn't want him, but she desperately, desperately wanted to be wanted. And he was a nice kind of guy that mostly fit the bill. So, I don't think she was being an asshole at all. I think she didn't realize what she was after and got confused when she got it. I don't think she was toying with him or even being purposely negligent. I think both Tony and Angela just keep chugging around the truth that they're in love with each other, and things get backed up sometimes because it won't work any other way than to fully own that. So, yeah, that's what I thought about that. As for the poor Tony bit, I can see it a little, but it's not his place to bust them up as a housekeeper. But as the guy who loves her, yes. That leaves us with that conversation that happened after he fell through the window. But see, I would be royally pissed if I had just ditched a guy that I could live with because the guy I was head over heels in love with begged me not to, and then tried to just tiptoe away like nothing happened. If they weren't making out afterward, you were puzzled about, then they should have had a blow up. Either one is appropriate. But her just being sweetly amused by his antics is just asinine. This is a spoiler here, but it feels like the end of First Date when he dangles actually making a move only to yank it back. It's if it didn't lack malice, it would be downright cruel. She was playing by their rules. He's the one who changed things up and then pretended like he didn't. He did that in First Kiss too. He totally kissed her first. So yeah, I don't know if any of this is legit, but it's my take on it. So anyway, thanks for listening. I really love listening to you guys come through all these. So thank you. Bye.
All right. So I did feel like I was a little harsh on Angela after I listened to the proposal back.
Yeah, I guess.
But no, and I do see that point. I I do think that she was kind of in love with the idea of being engaged, maybe, or getting married.
Right, but not necessarily.
With Jeffrey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do kind of wish...
And maybe because of what happened, she realized he's not what I... Like, because he didn't propose at the dinner, whatever, then maybe after thinking about it, she realized I maybe don't want to be with him.
Right. And I do think if these were real people, after he came to her window, spray painted no, and came through her bedroom window, there probably would have been some discussion where, like, I kind of like to go on a date with you, maybe.
I know, right? I
know I don't have much, and all I can offer you is love, but maybe we could just go get a burger and talk about this or something. But it's a sitcom, so they got to drag this shit out. So, yes.
And so here we are.
Yeah. Here we are, almost to the end of season 3. But yeah, well, thank you, Jamie. And that is...
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's the same voice message from the same person, but this is a different Jamie. There's Monster Donut Pants Jamie, and then Jamie Whitesell. So we have 2 listeners, okay, people?
Yep.
Not just one.
Both named Jamie.
No, we actually do. I'm going to be curious to see the numbers on this episode, because even if I listen to this podcast, I don't think I would listen to this episode just because it is a completely different show for tonight. So
no, it's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, the episode we are covering tonight is Mona. So this first aired, it's the season 3, episode 23. It first aired on May 12th, 1987. So the last episode we covered was March 31st. So they were not on the air for a month and a half. And then Mona aired.
Oh, yeah, you're right. A month and a half. Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know what the reasoning was. I couldn't find anything on it. But the TV Guide summary says, Mona is shocked that her brother used all his savings, and Mona's too, to buy a rundown hotel. That is the summary. Now,
that's it.
I looked this up to see if I could find some more information on it. So I cannot find exactly why this didn't get picked up. Other than one, I just don't think it's a very good story. But all I could find was that they thought that the departure of Katherine Hellman from Who's the Boss would affect the series. So they decided not to do the spinoff. You would think that they could have figured that out in like the first few meetings for
this.
No
kidding. I mean, yeah, Mona's such a big part of the show.
Yeah, and like everyone loves Mona, but we love Mona on Who's the Boss. Like I don't necessarily know that.
Well, they were trying to take that character.
Right. And it has worked on other shows. Like Frasier was a very successful show after Cheers.
Yes.
And
taking
then
another character, yeah.
So then another thing I found out was that so this episode was written by Martin Cohen and Blake Hunter. They are the creators of Who's the Boss. So this must have been like their baby to try to do a spinoff
another
here.
show, yeah.
Now, it says that even though this idea didn't work for Who's the Boss, it later worked for a Golden Girls spinoff called The Golden Palace. Do you remember that show?
No.
No, it ran for an entire season. So after the Golden...
can you really say it worked?
Well, it worked better than Mona.
True.
But that's so Golden Palace was a spinoff of the Golden Girls. And I guess at the end of the Golden Girls, which someday I would like to rewatch that whole series because I didn't watch it all the way through. Dorothy gets married. So B. Arthur was not on this show. But Rose, Blanche, and Sophia move and start running a hotel.
Well, okay. So that's why Golden Palace. Very similar to Mona.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. The idea was used in a different way. Now,
if I would have been a betting man, I would have guessed that they went to go run a Chinese restaurant called the Golden Palace.
That might be racist.
No, there actually in Orlando there was a Golden Palace.
Oh, just like the name of the restaurant.
Well, the name of the restaurant was Golden Palace. That's what made me think of it.
Oh, yeah, but I guess I did Golden Palace because of Golden Girls.
Yeah, no, I know. And a palace, a hotel.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense than a Chinese restaurant.
But this cast was Betty White, Rue McClanahan, Estelle Getty, Don Cheadle,
Oh, okay.
Cheech Marin,
Oh my gosh.
and Billy Sullivan.
We're gonna have to find an episode of that
We
somewhere.
are.
I gotta
I'm
watch
sure
that.
that is on. Oh,
The
Billy Sullivan
YouTube.
was a child.
It's probably on the YouTube.
Yeah, so I wonder if the characters were kind of similar. But it wasn't written by Martin Cohen and Blake Hunter. So I guess they were just saying the idea was taken. But the interesting thing about this also was I was thinking, so Golden Girls was Who's the Boss's Rival on Tuesday nights, which is probably also why I've never watched Golden Girls all the way through. And I was thinking that Mona would have done better on a show similar to that. Like, not the exact same show, but something kind of where she is almost like Betty White's character on Hot in Cleveland or something. Like, she really needed strong people and other women to play off of, I think. And this was just an odd cast of people.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, it was people that were just kind of working actors. Nobody...
Except for Joe Regalbuto.
Yeah, but what did he do? I mean, besides...
He was on Murphy Brown.
I know, but he wasn't on Murphy Brown then.
No, right, exactly.
Because I'm saying at the time they were just...
Right, no.
And it's funny, you could tell, like, that the people that were in it, he ended up going off to do something, and then what's her name? I can't remember her name. The one behind the counter that...
Oh, yes.
She was in Melrose Place, and then she was also...
Susan Walters.
Yes, and she was in... I remember her from Seinfeld. Only one episode, or 2 episodes of Seinfeld. But I mean, it was funny because you could tell they were using people who did have like some talent and were probably going to eventually be doing other things,
Right.
which ended up happening.
And we're also casts off of Who's the Boss. So we can get into this more as we get into this episode,
Right.
but where is he? Paul Sand plays Packard. He was Wally in Tony the Matchmaker. Then we have Bo Billingsley, who is a chef in this. He was Ray Charles' driver
Right.
on Who's the Boss. And Joe Regalbuto, who plays Don here, was Father, I cannot remember his name, but the priest that Tony gets into the fight with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting to see these other people back on this show now after playing on Who's the Boss.
But I mean, like another example of a failed spinoff was The Ropers, wasn't one from Three's Company.
Right.
And they didn't want to do that show.
Right, yes, we saw a whole thing about that.
The people, Norman Fell and what's her name?
Audrey something, I can't remember.
They didn't want to go do it, and the creators were like, you need to do it, it's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. And then they promised them they can go back to Three's Company if they made it through 2 seasons. If they made it through 2 seasons, that they couldn't go back to Three's Company. So they did exactly 2 seasons. They burned those people.
I know, that's really sad.
bad. So, anyway.
Yeah, because then at that point,
the show didn't do well.
Mr. Furley was so popular
Right.
that there was no room for them on Three's Company.
They could do no wrong on that show. I mean, not that we're doing a podcast about it, but
Three's Company?
yeah, I mean, three
got rid
different
of Chrissy,
It just
yeah.
did well
I
all the
know.
way through. I'm sure
Because
it dropped a little bit, but
it was John Ritter.
right. Like,
know.
they could just change people out and
Yeah.
no one cared.
The original idea had been for James Coco to pick up some of the Mona energy, I guess, at the house.
Right.
But then
Yeah, I remember you
as
saying
Nick
that.
Milano, but he passed away. And I think so someone told me that there was an article with Katherine Hellman where she mentioned that partially his death made them decide that Mona wasn't going to be a good idea.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So maybe that could have happened. So what if like everybody loved Nick Milano and then Mona went 1 season and failed, and then there would have been no room for Mona, and then Katherine Hellman would have been out of a job for the rest of the series.
Maybe.
She would have.
She would have had to come back at some point,
That's true.
Or
She
she rolled the car off of a cliff.
She's Angela's mother.
Right. So she's got to come back.
All right. So I already said we should make this a half an hour episode.
I know, and it is
And
now.
then we're already 13 minutes in.
Okay, all right,
so I'm going to
enough.
start the episode. Now, when this episode opens, it's the summer of 1941. And it's shot in black and white. There's like a cute little house with a picket fence, an old bicycle out front, and 2 kids fighting on the front lawn.
Yeah.
And the kid getting beaten up is Mona's brother, Cornelius. And then Mona comes running over to get the boy off of her. And when the boy turns
Young
around,
Young Mona, that
yes, young Mona. So this is young Mona. This is Candace Cameron before she was Candace Cameron Burr, playing
Beret.
young Mona. And this is before, was it Beret?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I had no idea. Yeah. And this is before Full House. So she's pretty young here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
And the boy who was beating up young Cornelius, I recognized as Randy from A Christmas Story. So he was Ralphie's younger brother on A Christmas Story. So we've had Ralphie and Randy on this show. Because Peter Billingsley was on as Ralph. I mean, Bobby. Bobby, throw me an easy one, Michelson.
Also, real quick side note, the beginning of the episode, it says 1941, but the song that's playing on the radio did not come out until 1945.
That was a good catch.
Yeah,
nice
that's
work.
all I got. All right, I'm done here.
Now, playing young Cornelius is Gabriel Damon. And
all right.
Yeah, character actor, I couldn't really find. His face looks recognizable to me, but I
don't think
really
I looked him up. I wonder if I recognize him from
find
somewhere.
what he was from. He did
What's his name? Gabriel
Damon.
Damon. Okay.
He was in RoboCop 2. I don't know. I did not watch that.
I'm not going to be able to recognize him from that.
Like a couple episodes of Baywatch, ER.
Okay.
He was in an episode of Growing Pains with Candace Cameron Bure's brother.
Oh, interesting. I wonder what he played.
I don't know. Oh, wait. It says right here.
We'll
Kenny.
never know.
I mean, yeah. Kenny in Feet of Clay, 1989. Who knows that episode? That'll be our next podcast.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Mona gets Randy, who is playing Biff here, off of her brother, and she's like patching him up, and they're having a little conversation, and you're getting the idea here already that Mona is Mona. So the little brother was in a fight with this boy because he said that she was kissing someone in a Cadillac. And she's like, that's not true. It was a Studebaker.
Right. Yeah, Mona started young.
Yeah. So she's already a free spirit. Now, Mom comes out, and Mom is Katherine Hellman, and she's calling the kids in to come wash up for dinner. So Cornelius is like, please don't tell Mom that I was fighting. And she's like, don't worry, I won't, but I want something from you. And he's asking what, and he thinks she wants money or something. I think she does want money. Oh, yeah, she does. She wants money from him so she could buy a bathing suit.
Oh, right.
A Betty Grable
bathing suit.
And he asks her, how is she going to hold it up? So,
because she's little.
Yeah. So they're like, deal. They do a little pinky handshake. And then things get strange. So as they're getting ready to go back into the house, Cornelius says something about being Superman, and then he flies away.
Oh, gosh. It's ridiculous. I know. And then it's like, what's happening? Because you don't know it's a dream. Right. There's a side note. There's a Betty Grable bathing suit poster was a big poster. So that's what she wants.
That makes sense. Oh, and it's suit. That white bathing.
Yeah.
Is it strapless?
Yes,
okay.
I think so. Well,
so that's
it's kind of... I don't know. I don't know what that means.
So now we cut to the kitchen, and Samantha and Tony are in the kitchen, and Samantha's like, what a great dream, Mona. That's a lie. No one's dream stories are ever good. Mm-hmm. Every time someone has a dream story, you just have to sit through it.
Right.
Because it's never going to seem as exciting to someone else as it was to you while you were dreaming it. Now, Jonathan's nowhere to be found in this episode. And
Yeah, he wasn't even in this beginning, right?
No. So they shot this. This was the last episode they shot. And I guess at first I was thinking like, oh, okay, well, that's great because they can release most of the cast. Maybe they even shot this part earlier because then the rest of it would have been in front of a studio audience on the other set.
Right.
And so they all got to go home. But yeah, maybe Danny Pintauro went to Disney World or something. He was out. He was done.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Because this is an awful episode.
So the reason why Mona is dreaming about her brother is because she's about to go to Manhattan to see him for the first time in a while. They haven't seen each other in a while. And it appears that Cornelius has retired from the military. So he's going to be settling in Manhattan. Mm-hmm. So now Angela comes in, and I love this shopping bag that she has because this is the most Angela shopping bag. I believe that piece of artwork is called The Kiss, and I meant to look that up before. It is. It's The Kiss by Gustav Klimt. So that's just a very Angela bag to have.
Yeah.
Now, Angela comes in and she's made a care package for Uncle Cornelius because he's just gotten out of the military and she figures maybe he would enjoy some little things. So she got him a bow tie and then like a driving cap and a Hawaiian shirt. Oh, and Argyle socks. I don't think she knows Uncle Cornelius at all.
No. What's he going to do with all that?
I don't know. It's such like a weird combination of things to get.
Right. So, that you can't all wear at the same time.
No. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she knows Uncle Cornelius better than we do. But I would think he wouldn't. So Samantha's like, oh, you must be excited because you haven't seen him in 3 years. And Tony's like, wow, you haven't seen your brother in 3 years? That's a long time. And she's like, nah, it's just about enough time.
Yeah, it's just about right.
So we're setting up here that they have a complicated relationship and have since they were children. Okay, so now we're in New York and we're at the hotel and there's a nice little music interlude to get us there too.
Always.
And we see Joe Rugglebudo, who here is playing Don, and he is giving some tourists maps so that they can be sent out into the city and see some sights. And it's so bad that there are just two Asian men playing complete Asian stereotypes here.
Know.
Hopefully we won't see that on TV anymore. And so they want to go see the Statue of Liberty, but I guess he has a deal with somebody in the South Bronx, or he's going to get a kickback to send them down there instead to go shopping and eat. So that's where he's sending them. And he's very proud of himself. He's like, I love helping people. Now, the lady behind the desk, her name is Kitty. This is Susan Walters, who went on to be on Melrose Place.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you're kind of a slime ball. So I don't know if they were trying to set up a little bit of a love interest here between these two.
Right, or at least him. I think they were setting up more of him being a kind of a womanizer or like trying to cheese on the women.
Right, yes.
I think.
Yeah, but like maybe then at some point there would have been
Or he would have always
something.
maybe gone after her. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe,
I see. Yeah.
Because I just feel like they're
We'll never know.
Yeah. Darn, we'll never know. So
Unless
then,
we get our hands on those scripts that were never produced.
Oh gosh, I wonder. You wonder how many Mona scripts are out there. It's even hard to get Who's the Boss scripts, so I'm sure getting Mona scripts is next to impossible.
Yeah, they're all burned.
So now there's one of those rotating doors, and we see Wally. Here he is Packard, which makes me think of The Office, Packer. And it's Paul Sands. So he played Wally in Tony the Matchmaker, and now he's playing this character of Packard, who I believe is a doorman, right? Is that what?
Yeah, I think so.
The appropriate term?
Yeah, sure.
So he's bringing Mona in, and he's spinning through the revolving doors because he's wacky. He just wants to sit in
Right,
that.
you can already tell he's going to be wacky. He's wearing sneakers with the outfit.
So Mona comes in to check in, and she's already not impressed with this hotel at all. But she doesn't realize why she's there. I think she just thinks that her brother got her a reservation at this dumpy motel.
Right.
And it's not terrible looking in there, but I guess it just looks old and run down. So Cornelius comes down the stairs and they say hello. This actor is,
Cornelius, the one that played Cornelius.
Yes, James Seeking. It's Sikking. Sicking. And I recognize him as the father on Doogie Howser.
That's right, yeah.
Now, what year?
He is.
Hang on. Again.
Doogie Howser was right after this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, this was what? 80?
This is 87.
Okay, Doogie Howser was like 88 or 89.
Okay.
I think. I'm just throwing it out there based on when I remember it being on.
It's a good thing that Mona didn't take off here, because we would have never had him as the dad on Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser, MD, 1989.
Okay, yeah, so a couple years later.
Yeah, but not much.
Yeah.
So he, this failed.
Right.
Thank goodness, because then he went on to go do a real show.
Right. That's Man, I want to rewatch that show too. I used to love that show. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
What was the girlfriend's name? No, I shouldn't have even gotten started.
Sorry.
Because I'm thinking Winnie Cooper, and that's not it, because it was a different show. And then he had that friend
What was her
Vinny.
name in real life? Or
no, on the show.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. What was her name in real life?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't see her listed. Was she Janine? Wanda?
Yes.
Wanda.
It was Wanda. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And I remember the act.
Yeah, like when you see her
face,
face, she had a unique look. She reminded me of the girl from the Bangles. I liked her a lot. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, back to Who's the Boss. Can you tell how much we love this episode?
We haven't talked about anything but this episode.
Okay, so Mona sees Cornelius and she's like, so I can't wait. What is this big surprise you want to tell me? And he says, you're standing in it. And so she looks down on the floor to make sure she's not standing in anything, and she's not. And the surprise is that he has purchased this hotel. So she's like, okay, well, that's great. But do you know anything about running a hotel? And he doesn't, but he thinks that this will be a perfect opportunity for him. So now just then, an angry couple come out of the elevator and they want out of this hotel. And they're saying it's the worst place they've ever stayed in. They've been there for 3 days. They've had to shower in cold water. They never saw a maid. And they had to walk 5 blocks to Woolworths to buy a towel. And Don's like, oh, man. And then he says, the pick and say is right around the corner. Yeah. Not that we're sorry we don't have any hotels. Yeah. So I don't know if any of you have watched Hotel Cecil on Netflix, but this episode reminded us of that because now it's way dark. Okay, so the documentary is about the Hotel Cecil. It's also going to touch on the Eliza Lamb disappearance and what is believed to be an accidental death. But the parts about the hotel are so fascinating.
Oh my gosh.
And the woman who was the hotel manager for 10 years is just a character of her own. She needs a show based around her.
Seriously, she's incredible.
And the thing about the Cecil was like, when people would walk into the lobby, it looks really nice.
Right.
But
it's
it is
old and a lot of like marble or whatever, like really nice sculpture, not sculptures, but it's just really nice lobby.
It's in downtown, and it's in a part of downtown that is not fantastic. So,
Skid Row.
Yes, there is an area called Skid Row where a lot of homeless people live, and there's just a lot of drug activity and violence and stuff. But people don't know that. Listen, if any of you are ever coming to Los Angeles, please message us before. Because there's a couple in the documentary who, they were from the UK. They didn't know any better. And the way they were trying to market the Cecil was they wanted to refurbish it and make it fantastic and make it like a great hotspot
like a good
downtown.
hipster hotel or whatever.
Yeah, but the problem is that it had been zoned in a way where you had to have long-term places for people to stay. And it's
which is a constant battle in LA here.
Yes. And
in general.
I mean, the heart is in the right place because the idea is to give people who are homeless like sort of an interim place to stay to get back on their feet. And
they already had residents in this hotel who'd been there 20 years.
Yeah, and they couldn't get rid of them. So then they decided
like $8 a day, or I don't know, it was really cheap.
So then they decided to take a portion of the hotel and fix that up because they were able to use that, and they had like their own separate entrance. Anyway, it was still a mess. And then this couple from the UK came to the Hotel Cecil. They didn't know any better. Also, if you come to visit Los Angeles, please don't stay downtown because you're going to be far from everything that you probably want to see.
That's true. That's true. There are nice parts of downtown. Yes, don't get me wrong.
Downtown is, yes.
But there's subways right there, and that goes to everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place to stay. You just need to know where you're staying.
Yeah.
And okay, the cat scared the dog, and the dog fell down in place. So this couple comes from the UK to stay at the Hotel Cecil, and then when they get to their room, they're like, this place is kind of a dump. Like the lobby looked really beautiful. And then their story gets worse because they were drinking water and showering in water in a tank where Eliza Lamb had been for about 2 weeks. So that's where it gets dark. Yeah. But I highly recommend that documentary way more than I recommend this episode of Mona.
You'll get more out of it.
So this hotel kind of gave me that feeling where it's like the rooms are a mess, it's falling apart, but they like try to do whatever they can to make the lobby still look inviting when you first walk in the door. Okay, now the angry couple in the elevator have left. And I'm sorry. You looked up who the lady is, right?
Yeah, I recognize both of them, but
yeah, they did look familiar.
She was, she played Magda in Something About Mary.
Yes.
That's what I most remember from. It's where
And she was really
Cameron
tan,
Diaz's
right?
character was living. Yeah, she was like
Yeah.
kind of a crazy old lady. And that's who she was staying. It's the one where all the action happens with the dog. She has the dog and everything. I don't know. Anyway, I know
Right.
you don't really remember that movie. I just actually recently watched it again. So that's why I think I recognized her. And then the guy's been in Three's Company.
Yes.
That's where I
I'm
recognized
sorry.
him
Also,
from.
the lady has done so many horror films that I
Yeah,
can't
that's right.
tell if she just really enjoys doing horror films or
like
she's like just a great
her agent.
screamer.
Yeah.
And so that she keeps getting these parts. Yes. And then he was in a few episodes of Three's Company that I had recognized him from.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, my stepdad worked on Something About Mary. And for years, when he and my mom first got together, their living room furniture was two of the couches from Mary's living room.
Yeah.
Because I guess they set one on fire.
They did.
And then there was another one, and then there must have been an additional one.
Oh, I see. So they must have had a few of the couches. Because I remember watching that thinking, gosh, they really messed that couch up. And then I'm thinking, hey, your mother had it, and Rod. For a
Yeah,
while.
no,
I'm like,
there must have been three
Oh,
total,
okay, that
and
makes
then
more
one
sense.
was burned, and then the other two were.
Yeah, because the dog's on fire and he's trying to put the dog out on the couch.
They had that furniture for a long time. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice couch.
Anyway, so back to Mona. Anything that we can, you know what? No one's going to listen to this episode anyway. So
That's
we really could say the F word. We can do whatever we want.
Okay, I'll think about that.
Okay. So Mona and Cornelius are still having an argument as to why on earth he's bought this crappy hotel. And finally, he's like, this is perfect opportunity for a retired military person because I'm used to living where I work and there's a mess hall and people are wearing uniforms and this feels like home. So at some point, he gets her to be on his side a bit about this. And she's like, okay, well, great. I'm happy for you. Like, if this is what you want to put your life savings into, then go for it. And he's like, okay, well, thank you. And I've also invested your savings. So how did he get a hold of her money?
I don't know. I wondered the same thing when I was watching this.
Yeah, like I guess the parents they must have made him like executor of their will or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
So he had control over what Mona got. Because maybe they've always kind of thought Mona was too much of a free spirit to leave her money. But like, that's a really crappy thing to do. So he took all of her inheritance or savings and also invested it in this hotel.
And bought a hotel, yeah.
Yeah. So now she's pissed. And then we get some wacky stuff with Packard, thinks he's on the street hailing a cab, but really he's back in the hotel.
Does Packard drink?
I don't know. Cornelius is showing Mona to her room, and they get in the elevator, and the elevator doesn't make it all the way to the second floor. So they have to like jump down.
Yeah, like overshoots it.
Yeah. And she's pretty much yelling at him the whole time, like, this is ridiculous. And he says, you haven't even seen the rooftop garden yet. And she asks, well, how do I get up there? Do I need a rope? And she's saying, this place is a dump and you bought it and I hope it falls on you. So she goes into room 207 and shuts the door in his face. So he doesn't follow her. Now, inside the room, there are workers from the hotel playing cards or some sort of gambling game on the floor. The lady actress here is Billy Bird. So she's playing Tessie. And then I don't believe the other two are credited except the chef who has a line here. That is Bill Billingsley, who we saw in Hit the Road, Chad.
Right.
He played Ray Charles' driver. So they realize that she's a hotel guest and they think they're in trouble. So they all run out of the room except for Tessie. So she's in the room still pretending to she's cleaning up her money and like as if she's going to straighten up the room. So she starts talking to Mona about Cornelius, who she calls Mr. Blood and Guts. And she says that he glues the ashtrays down to the nightstands. And you can tell Tessie's been working there a long time. So he inherited this little cast of characters from whoever he bought the hotel from. So Mona introduces herself as Blood and Guts' sister. And then Tessie's like, oh, I see the resemblance.
Right. Which Mona's not thrilled about.
No, she's not at all. So Mona's in the room. The room that Mona is in is a very nice room. And she's saying like, wow, this room is actually great. Like, why is this room so nice? And Tessie explains that the former owner used to have his main squeeze. He kept her there. And they were having some lurid affair, but that's why this room was always nice. And so Mona's asking like, oh, are any of the other rooms this nice? And she's like, yes, but not at this hotel. So now Tessie pulls out a diary that's just jammed in the back of the couch. And this is the diary that the old hotel owner's girlfriend kept of all their sexcapades. Is that what you would say? And now this is right up Mona's alley. She's like, sweet, got some reading material.
That's right.
And she starts leafing through it. So as Tessie's leaving, Mona's like, wow, this has everything but a trapeze. And then Tessie's like, check March 29th, and then leaves.
What's going on?
I don't know, some crazy shit. So now Mona's ordered room service, and a young guy comes up to deliver it. His name is Eddie. This actor's name, I was like, he had to have been a child on the show because he's the youngest person here, but he does look like he's about in his 20s. His name is Robert Petkoff. And I kind of recognize him a bit, but again...
right, nothing.
Yeah, nothing that you would really recognize him. Still working. He was on an episode of Madam Secretary in 2018. And you said you found a few people... in this episode, we're in The Good Wife, right?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He might have been. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's interesting when like they maybe are from the same agencies in those casts, because we've noticed that before with like people being on Shameless and also being on like a bunch of Grey's Anatomy or Scandal. Like it's just funny that they do the rounds on some of those shows.
Yeah, I know. It is.
So now she's talking to Eddie a bit. He seems like a sweet kid. She says that she's Cornelius's sister, and he's like, I don't see the resemblance at all. And she gives him an extra $1 in his tip. So she gave him a $6 tip, and he says it's the biggest tip he's ever seen.
Wow.
So he leaves, and as he's leaving, Mr. Ratcliffe is at the door, and this is the former owner of the hotel. And he sees Eddie thanking Mona for the money and leaving. So I think Mr. Ratcliffe is starting to get the idea, that maybe this room is just his fun place. Like, this is going to be his new lady. So they start talking, and Mona's whole idea here is that she's going to try to blackmail this man into giving her brother the money back for buying the hotel by saying that if he doesn't, she's going to expose the diary and everyone's going to know, and his wife's going to find out that he was having an affair.
Good plan. Ridiculous.
Well, it doesn't work because Mona doesn't realize that he has already told his wife's already left him, and
darn.
The girlfriend's already left him. So he doesn't care and he has nothing. And then she's just like, oh, all right. Well, that was my first time I ever tried to blackmail someone, so thanks.
Ridiculous.
Now, Cornelius comes in, and he gets into a fight with this guy because this guy, he already owes him the first month, I guess, of rent.
He's late on rent or something.
Yeah, he's late on rent already. So again, this kind of mirrors the scene that we got at the beginning of the show where Cornelius and the guy get into a fight. Cornelius gets punched in the face, and then Mona sits him down and cleans him up. So as they're talking here, now he's kind of saying, I'm sorry that you're upset about this, and I'm sorry that I took your money, but I'm still not sorry that I bought this hotel.
Right.
Because in its day, this hotel was beautiful, and I just feel like if we, put some work into it, and we look past the dingy drapes and the broken elevator and all that stuff, that we could really make this a beautiful hotel again. She starts to kind of come around a bit, but not quite yet. So they kind of patch things up and she leaves. So he's sitting there sort of dejected. She goes downstairs. She's talking to the rest of the crew again, and she's getting ready to check out the next day. And she's like, in a weird way, I am going to miss this place. Mm-hmm. And Kitty behind the counter is like, oh, you're leaving? And she's like, yeah, I was only here for the weekend. But Kitty's like, I kind of was hoping that maybe you would be what we need to turn this place around. So Mona gets an idea. And she decides that she's going to try to spice up the lobby, I guess, enough just to cheer Cornelius up.
Spice up the lobby.
So the next morning, she goes and gets him out of bed at 6 a.m. in the morning to show him what they've done. So he's in his pajamas. He goes downstairs. She's got a string quartet playing at the top of the stairs. And everyone's dressed nicely. And, like, they've cleaned up the place. They made it... I mean, it doesn't look that different.
I know.
I didn't really think, like, maybe the floor looks cleaner.
Why 6 a.m. though? It's so early.
I don't know. And did these people stay up all night long? And did they make this poor man wear the chef hat the entire time? Like, why?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. They were up all night, now they're done, and it's 6.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. So they all pitched in to help do this. These people must really like this hotel. And, okay, so Mona's wearing a jumpsuit here, and she's on her lapel is a brooch, and it's a wrench.
Right.
And we've noticed this before.
Right.
But I think we convinced ourselves that it wasn't a wrench, and it just looked like a wrench.
Right. We thought it was part of the other outfits.
Yeah, I think we thought it was part of her sweater, but no, this is in fact a wrench. And it's kind of fitting here because they worked they fixed this place up all night like they were little Bob the Builders. So, and now I think it's kind of funny that she actually does have a wrench on her blouse. Okay, so Mona lets Cornelius know, like, I kind of like this place, and a girl's got to protect her investment. So if we work together, we can maybe make this a really nice hotel. So he agrees. He's happy. They do their little pinky shake promise deal. And he's like, okay, everybody back to work. I got to go get dressed. And as soon as he goes upstairs, they all just start dancing around the lobby again.
Yeah.
And thank God that is the end of this episode.
And you know what? Do we ever hear about Cornelius again?
Okay, so I need to look this up. But there is another episode with Mona's brother, but his name is not Cornelius. I believe it's Archie, if I remember correctly.
All right.
And it's not this actor. So, and it happens later in the series. It's a Christmas episode. So we never see him again? No, we never see this. We never see the actor.
Never hear about how the hotel's doing?
No. Because in the next episode, she's going to move out and then she's going to come home.
Right. Okay.
So that's the weird thing too. Like, by the time these episodes aired, they obviously knew that Mona wasn't going to get picked up because they aired this episode and then they aired the season finale where Mona comes home at the end. So I am really confused on the whole timeline. And like, I guess maybe they had already, maybe within that month and a half time, they like tested the pilot and knew they weren't going to pick it up. So then they just used it as an episode.
Interesting.
But they would have already recorded the season finale where she comes home at the end. So I don't know.
Maybe they...
If anyone else knows.
I know. We're confused.
Let us know. Yes. But, okay, so that is over. And I want to say that this is the last spin-off attempt we're going to see on Who's the Boss.
Thank God.
But I would be wrong.
Oh.
There is going to be another spin-off of Who's the Boss.
No, not
or another attempt. And you know who's going to be in that one?
Who?
Leah Remini.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh, now you perked up.
Yeah, well. Yeah. Well, I'm curious to know what it is.
Yeah.
Just I liked her in King of Queens.
Yeah, she's in a couple episodes of Who's the Boss. I think the spinoff one and then one other one.
I don't
and you know what?
her.
Actually, I think her spinoff did go for a bit. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay,
but I don't think it did well, but I do believe it was on for quite a bit.
Stop it.
All right, so you go ahead and do rating first here.
Hang on, the cat's like attacking my computer.
Even the animals don't like this episode.
I don't know. What? 5? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I had no interest in pretty much any of it. I didn't have any interest in the storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted Mona to leave this show, and I really wouldn't have wanted Mona to leave Who's the Boss for that pilot because it was pretty bad. Okay, great. We've decided it's a 5.
Yeah, we'll take it. And there's no boss. Mona's the boss.
Oh, I gotta have Amy do her little soundbite still.
Oh,
okay,
sorry,
wait, hang on.
Who's the boss around here? Me? Or my mother? Or maybe it's you?
There's no boss.
No. All right. I mean, the only reason I said Mona
Mona's the
is
boss.
because she pulls it all back together
Right.
and gets on board with the place and whatever. I don't know. Just finish this.
It's got to be Mona, but okay. All right. So listen, if you have listened,
You made it this
to
far.
44 minutes of this episode, then I feel like I should buy you lunch or something because I apologize. Okay, you can reach us at the Who's the Boss podcast on Instagram or Who's the Boss Pod 1 on Twitter, or go to our Facebook page, which is the Who's the Boss podcast page, or go to anchor.fm/WTB podcast. And there you can leave a voice message. All right, next time, we are going to do the season finale.
Oh, boy.
Season 3, episode 24. It's called The Moving Episode. And the only good thing to come out of this Mona spinoff is that we're going to get some cute Tony and Angela stuff because Tony moves out, then he moves back in, and blah, blah, blah. But,
I'm excited about this one. I saw a little bit of it.
Yes, it is a very cute one. And some cast of characters are back. Philly Fingers is back.
Philly Fingers, my favorite. One of my favorites.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give a big thumbs up and tell all your friends. And maybe you can tell your grandma, your mother, and your sister or brother. Maybe have no siblings. Tell your dog and cats. Bye.